your weekly shot of GenAI news.
All right, let's jump right in, shall we? We're taking a deep dive into this week's AI Espresso, always packed with fascinating stuff.
It really is. AI never sleeps, does it?
No kidding. There's always something new brewing. This week, a development caught my eye that could have a big impact on online safety.
Oh, which one?
Mistral, the AI company, just launched a new API for content moderation. And it's not just any API. This one is powered by their Mistral 8B large language model. Pretty impressive, right?
Definitely sounds interesting. So how's it different from what's already out there?
Well, it's designed to analyze text for all sorts of potential issues, across 9 different safety categories, actually.
9! Wow, that's a lot. What kind of things does it catch?
Everything from hate speech and violence to things like financial scams and even leaking personal information.
So it's like a comprehensive safety net for online platforms.
Yeah, exactly. And they've also added a new batch API feature. Makes it a lot more cost-effective for companies to use, especially when they're dealing with massive amounts of content.
That could be a game changer, especially for smaller companies who might not have had the resources for this kind of sophisticated moderation before.
Right. Potentially makes the internet a safer place for everyone. But of course, there's always another side to consider too.
You're thinking about bias.
Exactly. Even with the most advanced AI, there's always the risk that it reflects the biases of the people who created it.
It's a good point. Just because it's AI doesn't mean it's automatically objective or neutral.
We need to be cautious about how these tools are developed and used. Transparency and fairness are crucial.
Absolutely. Algorithmic bias is a real concern. Now let's switch gears for a moment. Something a bit closer to home, perhaps.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What do you have in mind?
Well, have you heard about the idea of AI-powered parenting?
I have, actually. Sounds pretty futuristic.
It does, but some aspects of it are already here. There are companies using AI to do things like analyze baby sleep patterns and breathing.
Like CradleWise and Nanit. Right. I've seen their baby monitors. Pretty cool how they use AI to give parents insights.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just monitoring. There are apps like Sola that use AI to provide personalized support to mothers during pregnancy and postpartum.
It's almost like having a virtual doula, available 24/7. That could be incredibly valuable for new parents who are feeling overwhelmed.
No doubt. But of course, it also raises some questions.
About the role of AI in such a personal and delicate aspect of life.
Exactly. Where do we draw the line between relying on technology and trusting human intuition?
Finding that balance is key. Now, how about we dive into something a little more entertaining?
Sounds good to me. What are you thinking?
Prime Video is rolling out this new feature called X-ray Recaps. Uses AI to generate spoiler-free summaries of episodes and seasons.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Well, think about it. No more accidentally spoiling the ending for yourself. No more scrolling through social media trying to remember what happened last season.
Okay, that does sound pretty useful. How does it work?
They're using custom AI models built on Amazon Bedrock and SageMaker. These models analyze the video and dialogue in real time.
So you can get a quick recap on the fly.
Exactly. Initially, it's available for Amazon MGM Studios originals, like the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith series. But I imagine they'll expand it to other shows eventually.
Makes sense. This feels like part of a bigger trend. Streaming services are definitely getting smarter with AI.
Definitely. All right, let's shift gears again. This next one is a bit more serious, with some potential global implications.
Okay, lay it on me.
Google is opening up a new AI hub in Saudi Arabia.
That's interesting.
The focus is on developing Arabic language AI models and applications specifically for Saudi Arabia. Big players are involved.
Who are we talking about?
The Saudi Public Investment Fund and Aramco, the state-owned oil company. In fact, Aramco is already using AI to increase its oil production.
Now that's interesting, especially given Google's public commitment to fighting climate change.
Right, it does seem a bit contradictory. Makes you wonder how this deal aligns with their stated goals.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, this last one might pique your interest as well. It involves a company you probably use every day, Apple.
Oh, what have they been up to in the AI world?
Well, they just acquired Pixelmator.
Pixelmator, the image editing platform. Wow, that's a big move.
It is. No immediate changes planned for existing apps, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of Pixelmator's features integrated into Apple's Photos app down the line.
That makes sense. Apple has a history of absorbing technology from its acquisitions and making it part of its ecosystem.
Exactly. Think about it. This could have a big impact on photo editing for everyday users.
Yeah, what if we could all achieve professional level results with just a few taps on our iPhones?
That's the dream, isn't it? And this acquisition definitely hints at Apple's growing interest in AI, especially when it comes to imaging.
Like that new cleanup feature they launched recently. Uses AI to remove unwanted objects from photos. Pretty slick.
Exactly. We're seeing AI move beyond just automating tasks. It's becoming a tool for creativity, too. And that's pretty exciting.
It is. And it makes staying on top of these trends all the more important. We've covered a lot of ground just now, but there's so much more to unpack. We'll be back after a short break to delve deeper into the implications of these AI advancements and what they might mean for the future. We were just talking about Apple acquiring Pixelmator and what that might mean for the future of photo editing. But let's shift gears a bit and think about something we touched on earlier.
What's that?
AI's role in online safety, specifically content moderation.
Right, with Mistral launching that new API.
Exactly. It's a critical area where AI is already having a big impact.
Yeah.
Think about it, the internet is massive.
Way too much for humans to handle alone.
That's where AI comes in. AI can help flag content that might violate platform rules.
Yeah.
Hate speech, harassment, all that.
Creating safer online spaces, in theory.
Right, in theory. But there's a flip side to consider too, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Bias. These systems are trained on data, right? And that data can reflect existing societal biases. So there's the risk of AI actually perpetuating those biases in the way it moderates content.
So if an AI is trained on data that mostly represents one type of person, it might be more likely to flag content from other types of people, even if it's not harmful.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations about the ethical implications of AI in content moderation. How do we make sure these systems are fair? How do we make sure they're transparent? And how do we prevent them from silencing certain voices or just making existing inequalities worse?
It's a tough challenge. And it's not just about the tech itself, it's about the choices people make when they build and use this technology.
Completely agree. Speaking of choices, let's circle back to another area where AI is causing a stir.
You mean AI in parenting?
Yep. We talked about those tools that analyze baby sleep or offer personalized advice to new mothers. Really interesting stuff.
Definitely helpful for a lot of parents, especially those who are new to it all.
For sure. But it does raise questions about where we draw the line. When does relying on technologies start to interfere with, good old-fashioned parenting instincts?
Yeah, like what happens if parents start to feel pressured to follow every recommendation an algorithm spits out, even if it doesn't feel right to them?
Or even worse, what if parents start outsourcing important decisions about their kids to AI?
That's a slippery slope.
It is. We need to be having thoughtful discussions about how we integrate AI into family life without losing sight of what's important: parental intuition, the parent's own judgment.
It's all about finding that balance. And to be fair, AI can do a lot of good in this area too.
Oh, for sure. Think about AI tools that could help parents spot developmental issues early on or connect them with other parents who are going through similar things. Huge potential there.
The key is to proceed carefully and always put the well-being of children first.
Couldn't agree more. All right, ready for a topic change. This one's causing some waves in the geopolitical world.
Lay it on me.
Google's AI hub in Saudi Arabia. Remember that one?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
Well, it's sparking a lot of debate. Some people argue that working with countries like Saudi Arabia, even with their human rights record, is essential for pushing AI research forward and keeping those lines of communication open.
Right, but others are concerned that it might actually legitimize authoritarian regimes and lead to AI being used for surveillance or even repression.
It's a real dilemma, trying to balance the drive for innovation with ethical considerations. And this is a conversation that needs to happen globally.
Right.
AI isn't just happening in Silicon Valley anymore, it's everywhere.
It's a good point. This isn't just a tech issue. It's political, it's economic, and it definitely ties into social values. And as AI gets more powerful, things are only going to get more complicated.
Exactly. Which brings us to another crucial point: transparency. If we want to trust these AI systems to make important decisions that affect our lives, we need to know how they work and who's controlling them.
Transparency is a good start, but it's not enough. We need accountability too. Like, who takes responsibility when AI messes up or causes harm? How do we make sure the people who are developing and deploying AI are held responsible for the consequences?
Big questions. And these aren't things we can put off thinking about. The future of AI is being shaped right now by the choices we make today.
And those choices need to be made with a full understanding of both the good and the bad that AI can bring.
Absolutely. We've covered so much in this deep dive, and it's clear that AI is already having a huge impact on everything.
From the way we talk to each other and get information to how we raise our kids, even global politics. It's incredible.
And I'll leave you with this thought before we wrap things up. AI is powerful, no doubt, but we get to decide how we use it.
Will we use it to build a better future? Or will we let it make existing problems worse?
The choice is ours, and that's why it's more important than ever to stay informed, to ask questions, and to really think critically about this stuff.
Well said. And to our listeners, we encourage you to keep digging into AI, to stay updated on what's happening, and to join these conversations. We're back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of AI. This week's AI Espresso really got us thinking, huh?
It did. From AI-powered parenting to, content moderation, even those geopolitical questions around Google's AI hub in Saudi Arabia, AI is everywhere.
And it's not slowing down. AI is only going to get more intertwined with our lives. The big question is, how do we make sure it's a good thing? How do we make sure AI benefits everyone?
Yeah, how do we steer it in the right direction? We've talked about some of those potential downsides, right? AI bias, the worry that we might start giving up too much control to algorithms.
But we can't forget about the incredible potential AI has to really make a difference.
Absolutely. Think about healthcare. AI is helping to develop new treatments, diagnose diseases earlier, tailor treatments to individuals. Education, to personalized learning, helping teachers understand how students learn best. Even with climate change, AI can help us analyze what's happening, find ways to use energy more efficiently, come up with solutions.
So it's not about AI being good or bad. It's about making smart choices, about how we use this powerful tool. And that starts with having honest conversations about what AI means for all of us, what kind of future we want to build with it.
Exactly. And those conversations need to involve everyone. What values do we want our AI systems to reflect? How do we balance the excitement of new technology with its potential impact on society? How do we make sure everyone benefits from AI, not just a select few?
Tough questions, but important ones. We can't afford to ignore them. The more powerful AI becomes, the more crucial these discussions are.
And it's not just for the tech experts or the folks making policies. We all have a stake in this. AI is going to touch every part of our lives. We all need to be part of shaping its future.
Couldn't agree more. So to everyone listening, keep exploring this world of AI. Stay informed about what's happening, and don't be afraid to ask those tough questions.
Because the decisions we make about AI today are shaping the world of tomorrow. It's up to all of us to make sure it's a future we want to live in.
Perfectly said. That wraps up our deep dive into the latest from AI Espresso. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.
Espresso. AI. Espresso. AI. Espresso. Your weekly shot of GenAI news.